Namaste everyone, my name is Brian. Let's get started in child's pose. So we'll take a few minutes in child's pose. And we'll use this time to really connect with our breath. And really what we're doing is just coming into a place of stillness. Brian Kest, one of the most experienced yoga teachers says that you can't just turn it on like a light switch. It takes some time to go into it. And indeed, that's the case. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to really get into the zone. So for now, we'll just take those initial steps just to kind of transition from whatever was happening in our day to transition from wherever we came from that brought us to our mat. And just really take this time just to settle in. Whether this be the first time you're practicing yoga positions today, or whether it be the third or fourth time today. But wherever you may be, just really take that time just to settle into where your body is right now. And just take this time to respect exactly where you are right now. You're not trying to compare yourself to yesterday or a couple of hours ago. You're really just trying to connect with who you are right now and how you're feeling right now. So let's start to dial in. And we can do that by a few ways. One is if you can narrow down your breathing to just your nostrils. I know for some of you it may not be possible to just breathe through your nose. There's many conditions or situations in which breathing through your nose is particularly challenging. But if you can, see if you can just try to breathe through your nose and maintain that for the rest of the class. If at any time it becomes too strenuous that you feel like you need to take in extra air by your mouth, just take that as a sign that just to back off a little bit. You really want to keep this a sweet, sensual flow. And really keep it in moderation. And we can keep that in check by keeping our breath directed in and out of our nose. The second thing we can do is if we can try to fill in our lungs and exhale our lungs out completely every single breath. And if you're just trying that and it seems weird to do it, that's because it is. It's filling our lungs up completely is not a normal, natural thing that we do. So in order to do anything that's unnatural or abnormal, we have to pay attention to it. And so by breathing deep, we're paying attention to our breath. And if we're paying attention to our breath, That's one less thing we can pay attention to outside of our mat. As I said earlier, we really want to dial into the present moment, and using those breaths to really focus the mind on how you're feeling right now is a tool to help you do that. The last thing I wanted to mention to help you bring yourself into the present moment and feel a sense of stillness is to tell your body to stay still as much as you can. Oftentimes when our mind is agitated, your mind takes it out on your body, and the result is a fidget. So we may tend to play with our hair, may tend to wipe sweat off our face, could adjust clothing, could do some movements that aren't really conducive to what we're doing right now. So if you can, just try not to fidget. Try to consciously tell your body to stay still. And when we go into these poses, it may take a few moments to find out where exactly you're supposed to be in the pose, Like we're not trying to jam ourselves deep, but we're also not trying to not feel anything. We want to find somewhere in between. So we'll take a few moments in each pose to find where that is for each of us. And once you found that place of moderate sensation, stay still. When our body stays still, then our mind tends to go crazy and think 10,000 thoughts a minute. But if we can focus on our breathing as a way to keep our mind still, and keep telling our bodies to stay still, then we reach a place where our mind and body is still. And that's our state of yoga. So with those three things in mind, breathing through your nose, taking a deep breath in and deep breath out, telling ourselves to stay still, we're just going to integrate some movements now into that state of stillness. And the most challenging part of the class isn't the pose. It's never about the pose. The most challenging part of the class is keeping your breath steady, keeping your mind still, and remembering to fill your lungs up every time you breathe. That's the difficult part. So let's go ahead and start to integrate some movement. So let's extend your arms out if they're not already. If your arms were in a different variation of child's pose, extend them out in front of you. Come up to all fours. And just take a few moments to feel your hands rooted in the mat. Feel your knees grounded on the floor. Feeling your toes pressed against the mat. Taking a deep breath in and out. Keep breathing deep. And on your next exhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees up, push up back to downward facing dog. And just take a few moments to pedal it out and to find your place in downward dog. That may be you bend your knees to really take the stretch off your hamstring and really lengthen your lower back. Or that may mean pedaling it out just to heat up the hamstrings just a little bit, whatever feels right to you. I know in the beginning of my practices, at least, my hamstrings are usually quite tight. So I like to pedal it out just for a few moments, but keep breathing deep. And then once you found your pose, just stick it. And stay still. So I'm going to be talking throughout this just to kind of give you suggestions about different things to pay attention to, or different things you might want to try to feel different sensations, but you don't have to do any of them. In fact, you can put your knees down right now and stay in child's pose for the rest of the class. That was perfectly fine, whatever suits your needs right now. But if you want to hear some suggestions, then one of them is, as I said, to bend your knees and really push your butt up, back. Feel your palms rooting in the ground. Feel your fingers pressing in the mat. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Drop your knees. Spread your toes to the width of the mat and just sit between your heels, keeping your back nice and straight. Now you may feel a lot of sensation in your knees, and that's perfectly fine. If it's too much sensation, just use your hands and take the weight off a little bit. Just press yourself up a little bit just to take the weight off your knees. If it's still too much, you can lean forward a little bit. Or if you want more, you can lean your way back. But for now, I'm just gonna press my hands, use my hands to press myself up a little bit. For most of my life, I was a long distance runner. And so the muscles and ligaments and tendons around my knees tends to be quite tight. And that may be for you too. You may not have been a long distance runner, but any other activities could tighten the muscles around the knees. Okay, if you're laying down further, come up to a more sitting position and crawl your hands forward gently back to tabletop pose. Again, feel your palms, feel your fingers, feel your knees and the tops of your toes rooted down to the ground. And just very gently take your right leg back and just see how that feels. Keep breathing deep. Remember, keep your breath, and paying attention to your breath is the most important thing right now. Next, take your left arm out forward and just see how that feels. See how it feels on your back. See how it feels on your neck. And in this pose, try not to look up. So try to keep the back of your neck soft. And try not to wrinkle the back of your neck. So try to just keep, if you do look up, just look up a little bit in front of your mat, but not straight ahead. And if everything feels good, keeping your breath deep and free, lift your right leg up and see how that feels. Now, a lot of people, when they lift their right leg up, they tend to shift their weight into the left knee. See if you can balance out that weight between your right arm and your left knee. So you feel some weight on that right arm. And if all that feels good, take your left arm straight up, sunbird pose. And if at any time it feels too strenuous, or you lose that deep breath, or you have to breathe out through your mouth, just back off a little bit. Either drop down one of your limbs, or both of them, and just feel what you're feeling. Good, drop that all down, and switch. Left leg back, and feel it. See if you can feel the top of your left thigh being stretched out. See if you can feel your breath filling up your lungs completely. See if you can feel your neck soften as your breath is deep and free. Now if all that feels good, right arm forward. Again, see if you can play with the weight distribution. So again, a lot of people, once that right arm goes out, they tend to dip the weight into your right knee. See if you can bring it back to your left arm. And if all that feels good, lift up your left leg. Lift up your right arm. Sunbird pose. So keeping that length in the spine, see if you can really pull your limbs apart. See if you can really drive your heel back and reach forward like there's someone you really want to shake hands with. Press your arm straight so your weight's not not impinging your shoulder. And breathe. Feel where it is you're feeling, just to the degree where it's not too much, but you also kind of challenge a little bit. If it's too much of a challenge, definitely back off now. As I said, the point of all this isn't to maintain the pose the longest or to look the prettiest in a pose. It's really to just touch the places you're feeling gently. And everything comes back down. Take child's pose. This variation of child's pose, I'm going to sit on my heels and take my arms down my sides and put my head on the ground. Remember keeping that breath really deep. Okay. Extend your arms forward. Push back to downward facing dog. And again, in that few moments, things may have shifted. And you may be feeling different in this downward facing dog than you did in the first one. So again, just take a few moments to feel how you're feeling in this downward facing dog. And just make the adjustments you need to. And then stay still for a few moments. On your next inhale, swing your right leg to the top of the mat between your arms. Drop your left knee down. And stay here. You may be on your fingertips or the palms of your hands, whatever is more comfortable to you. Now when you're here, see if you can press down into the ground with your left foot. That'll give a good stretch along your left thigh and inner left groin. And while you're pushing down with your left foot, see if you can push down a little bit with your right foot. And now very slowly, walk your hands up to your right knee and see how that feels. Remembering to breathe deep. Turn your pelvis slightly forward. What that means is, so most of us in this position, our pelvis and hips are kind of on an angle this way. You want to make it kind of straight. So with your, just kind of turn your hips slightly forward, and that may have intensified the stretch along this part of your body. And see if you can lean back just a little bit, but keeping the right shin perpendicular to the mat. And with your right hand on your thigh, put your left arm toward the sky. And breathe deep. Now on your next exhale, see if you can bring your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. And bring your right arm in prayer position on top of your left arm, so it looks like this, like a prayer. And our next exhale, twist deep. And stay still. Again, remembering to press your left foot into the ground so it feels like you're lifting up your left knee, which you can if you want. But I'm just going to leave my knee on the ground for now. Remembering to keep that right foot pressing down on the ground, and that breath still really deep. Okay, unwind that. Back up to where we started. And hands to the ground. This time take your left palm, press it to the ground, and right arm to the sky. So it's a different variation of a twist on the same side. But in this one, we're trying to even out the weight distribution on your left hand as well. So see if you can feel your fingers pressing in the mat. And stay still. Exhale, bring your right hand to the ground. Knees back. Push up, downwards facing dog. And your next exhale, left foot to the middle of your mat. Right leg to the ground, right knee to the ground. And just stay here. So every side is different. You may want to keep the palms of your hands on the ground, or you may want to come up to your fingertips. I personally like to stay on my fingertips for this one because it keeps my chest a little bit elevated. Whereas if I were to go on my palms, I kind of close off my chest a little bit. So keeping on my fingertips to keep some room between my chest and my thigh. So again, see if you can press your right foot into the ground. Left foot into the ground. And while doing all that, keep your breath really deep. Keep breathing deep. And slowly now start to walk up. Both hands on top of your thigh. And just like how we did before, how our hips were pointed more this way, see if you can point your hips straight. And stay still for a few moments. Okay, right arm to the sky. And breathe. See if you can increase the distance between your torso and your thigh while still keeping your shin as perpendicular as you can. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed so it's not crunching up into your neck, but it's really soft on your back. And take your right elbow, twist to the left, hook it on the outside of your left thigh, prayer position, and twist. Keep breathing deep. So where I am right now is there's several biting flies near me. But that's inevitable. We're outside. And if I swat one away, there'll be another one. So stay as still as you can, regardless of any outside distractions that may occur. And unwind that. Right palm to the ground, left arm to the sky. And breathe. And with those inhales, see if you can really feel the breath coming into your body and just filling the spaces that you're opening up. I have the luxury at the moment of looking up to the sky and the green leaves above me. It's really a way to stay focused in the present moment and really just enjoying what you're doing right now. And see if you can feel if there's any strain on your neck. I know when I twist to this side, my neck often gets tight when I look up on this side. So I'm more comfortable in this position looking forward or looking down. You may want to keep looking up, but I'm going to keep looking down. And bring your left arm down to the ground. Back to tabletop. Push back to downward facing dog. So as I said, in this area there's several flies that bite. And if I can see them on me, then I'll try my best to kind of move so they don't bite me too bad. So I am taking care of myself, but it's alright. Keep breathing deep. Okay, drop your knees down. Spread your toes again the width of your mat while keeping your knees where they are. And just slowly walk your way back to sit between your heels. If some of you are really tight or really have really tight hips, then it may take a long time for you to sit down on the ground below your heels. And that's totally fine. That doesn't mean you're not going to get the same benefit as someone who can lay down on the ground behind them. In fact, the person who can lay down on the ground behind them may find it more difficult to find a sensation in their hips and in their knees, so they have to work a little bit harder to get a moderate sensation. So just be appreciative of where you are right now. You're not trying to compete or you're not trying to compare with anyone else. Or in the back of your mind, you're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to have a goal in your mind that saying like, okay, 1 week from now, my hips are going to be open enough to sit completely down on the floor without using my hands and leaning all the way back to lie down on the floor. Just really appreciate where you are right now. And that's really what advanced yoga is. Advanced yoga isn't an odd contortion or a deep pose or a really difficult, quote-unquote difficult variation of a pose. Advanced yoga is really accepting who you are and what you need right now. It's having the humility to get out of your ego and make a pose less difficult if it needs to be. You know, we all are at different stages in our life. And even during the day, we fluctuate, let alone 5-6 years apart. So really, can you just honor what you're feeling and go to the degree that suits you? Next, just walk hands forward. Come back to tabletop. And push back to downward facing dog. And pedal out a few moments, but then stay still. Keep breathing deep. Keep trying to fill your lungs up completely. And it is a difficult thing to do, to pay attention to your breath enough for the entire practice to fill up your lungs every single time and deflate your lungs completely every single time. But even if you just do it a little bit, that's plenty. Imagine what else you'd be doing during this time. Could be doing non-breathing things. Okay, so we'll move on. On your next exhale, walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, fold down. So in this position, you can see that I have my knees bent because it feels nice to have my knees bent. As I said earlier, my hamstrings are quite tight. And if your hamstrings are looser or less tight, then go ahead, feel free to straighten your knees. If your hamstrings are even more tight, go ahead and feel free to bend your knees even more. Just go to the degree that gives you a nice gentle sensation. The next thing is to feel your head just drop. Feel the weight of your head just move towards the ground. The average human head weighs about 15 to 20 pounds. So just imagine that free weight dangling off the end of your spine and all that traction and length that can give to your spine. It's beautiful. One more time, inhale, flat back. And again, in this pose, you can feel free to straighten your legs. Feel free to keep your knees bent. This pose, for me, I can straighten my legs a little bit more. And forward fold again. And your next inhale, just put your arms down your sides like an airplane. And lengthen whatever you can. See if you can feel your spine lengthening, your shoulders running down your back, your hands lengthening. See if you can lengthen your legs now to the degree that suits you. Keep it bent, that's perfectly fine. And take a few breaths here. Your next inhale, sweep up to the sky. Exhale, come all the way back down. Exhale everything out. Inhale deep, flat back. Exhale, back down, plank position. So in plank position, you want to, again, have your elbows pointing forward. Again, these are all little suggestions. You don't have to do any of them at all if it doesn't feel right. Feel free to put your knees down right now if this is too much for you. Or anytime, just put your knees down. If you need a little break or if you just want to moderate the sensation. But see if you can point your elbows forward. And now pretend like you're looking over a ledge. So back to this plank position. And just move slightly forward. Bend your elbows up to 90 degrees. Hold it for a breath. And drop down. Lay down flat. Rest. Put your head to the other side. Okay, now hug your elbows. Now come up to your chin. Just rest your chin on the mat. Hug your elbows in, so they're not off to the side of the mat, but they're still inside the borders of the mat. See if you can press the tops of your toes into the ground while keeping your butt nice and soft. Now gently lift your chest up to a very gentle cobra. Very gentle. And try not to look up to the ceiling at the moment. We want to keep the back of our necks nice and soft. And exhale back down. Inhale again. Exhale back down. And we're just keeping in mind that we're just trying to warm up your spine gently. Inhale to cobra. Nice, gentle, easy cobra. Back down. 2 more times. Inhale, breathe in all the way. Exhale, back down. This next one we're going to hold it for a few breaths. So inhale up, and now see if you can press into your palms. And feel as if you're pulling your palms back so your chest moves forward a little bit. Still keeping your butt nice and soft. And your toes pressing into the ground if you can. Keep breathing. Again, at any point, feel free to drop down to the ground, but we're going to hold it for a few more breaths. And lower down. Keep breathing deep. And your next exhale, push up to plank position. Downward facing dog. Breathe deep. Okay, we're just going to tie all that together in 3 flows. And yep. Yeah, so we're just going to tie it all together and we'll see what happens. So your next inhale, walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down plank, all the way down to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, plank, downward facing dog. So that was 1 round of Surya Namaskar, or sun salutations. We're going to do 2 more. So inhale, feel your back lengthening. Again, in this downward facing dog may be different again. You may want to bend your knees. You may want to try straightening them, sending your heels down to the ground, or you may want to find somewhere in between. Take a big inhale in. On your next exhale, walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plank to the ground. Inhale, gentle cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So see if you can feel your palms pushing into the ground, giving some length to your shoulders. See if you can drive your heels down to the ground to your own degree, if you want. Or you could even drop down to your knees and take child's pose now for the rest of the class. However long you need. Make this as personal as you can, instead of a generic thing just copying whatever the instructor says. Make it as personal and as intimate to your own body and mind as you can. Inhale, push yourself back. Exhale, walk, step, or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push up, downward facing dog. You made it. Congratulations, guys. Drop your knees down. Spread your toes the width of your mat and gently walk yourself back to seating position between your heels to your own degree. If you want to try it, you can walk your hands backwards till you're laying on your elbows. And if that feels appropriate, you could lay down on your back. This is perfect for me, so I'm not going to go any further, but feel free to try to lay down on your back. So again, the purpose of going deeper into poses isn't for the sake of going deeper into a pose just because that's what you think a pose should be. The purpose of going deeper into poses is just to get that moderate sensation. If someone has been practicing for a long time, their bodies may be open enough to and loose enough to that they need a deeper pose to feel anything. But that in no way, shape or form means they're more advanced than a person who stays up here or a person who stays up here. As long as you can feel sensation, you can focus on that while you're having that deep breath. And focusing on that in your deep breath and telling your body to stay still brings your whole state of being into a state of stillness, which is a meditation on its own. Okay, gradually walk your way up. Come onto your hands and knees. And come sit on your seat. Okay, let's start to wind things down now. So while sitting on your seat, so we're gonna do something called double seated pigeon. So you can try two things. So you can either take your right shin. So you can either sit by taking your right shin in front of your left shin. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving forward our hands. So if you can try that, and if you feel that it's that you want to try a little bit more sensation, then put your right shin on top of your left shin, and your right foot is on top of your right knee area. Your left foot is under your right knee, so your feet are nice and square with the knees. And keep your chest forward and see if you can walk your hands forward. Try not to arch your back yet, just keep your chest lengthening forward. Close your eyes and keep sticking with that deep breath. The hips is often one of the tightest places in our body. There's so many connective tissues there. The muscles are so huge. The bones are huge. So they tend to be one of the tightest places we can store attention. So the tightest places in our body, and as a result, they're one of the largest places to store attention in the body. So if you're new to yoga or been practicing for many years, just try to be very gentle as you ease into the hip stretches. Keep breathing deep. To help keep your back straight, if you can use your palms, plant your palms into the ground. And just feel like they're and just pull them towards your body. They're not going to actually go anywhere because they're fixed on the ground, but just the sensation of pulling keeps your back nice and straight. And release that. Take your right arm out. Take your right leg out. Put your left foot up inside your right inner thigh. And turn your body to be in line with your foot. And just gently walk your hands forward. Again, keeping your back and chest nice and opened. For some of you who are really open right now, feel free to grab your feet. But I'm just going to stay here right now. This is perfect for me right now. Stay still. You may have the urge to fidget or to tie your hair in a ponytail or move the hair out of your eyes or adjust your clothing, but try not to. I mean, you're more than welcome to, but try to stay as still as you can. Breathe deep. Okay. Come back to sitting and this time switch. Left leg in front. And we're going to do the crawling forward one again. So if you feel that you need to stay in this position, by all means go ahead. I'm going to put my left leg on top of my right. So again, left foot on top of your right knee. Right foot underneath your left knee, so they're nice and square. And if you look between your legs, it's like a triangle shape. And gradually walk your hands forward. So I can see on my forearm right now, one of the flies bit me, and they drew blood. Well, it's fine because I've been bitten by these flies before. And all that really happens later is an itch. So there's nothing deadly about the flies. There's nothing that's going to hurt me. It's just a little sensation of an itch later. And I'd much rather feel the sensation of staying still. And I wasn't even aware that the fly was biting me at the time. I was so engrossed in right now, in that breath, and what was important to me. Breathe deep. If you want, call your hands further. So each side of the hip is different. The left and right side. For me personally, my left hip is much more open than my right hip, which is totally normal. It's very normal for each side to be different. So on this side, I can go a little bit further while still keeping my spine in as long as I can. And for you, maybe the opposite. Just go to the degree that suits you. Just be kind to yourself. And slowly walk your way back up. Left leg straight out, right leg comes up to your inner left thigh. Turn your body to face your left foot and slowly walk your way forward. Breathe deep. So really feel how you're feeling. For if you're able to pay attention to your breath the entire class, which would be amazing, just feel how you're feeling. And if you were able to pay attention to your breath for as many times as you can, whether it was all together, or whether you paid attention to it just when I gave you the cues to breathe deep, just see how you're feeling right now. See if there's any space you created in your mind. See what changes there on your body. Just really tune into how you're feeling. Okay, walk your hands back. Come back to seated position. And I'm just going to face towards you right now. And we'll just finish this off with a small meditation. So if you can, sit in a comfortable position. For the way that I like to sit at the moment is you can either sit in full lotus or how we were seating before, or you can sit just normal cross-legged position. See if you can cross your left shin, mid shin over your right, so that your outer feet are in line with your outer kneecaps, and you can just draw a line like that. And that just really gives you a sense of stability. And for me, it feels quite stable. But you can choose whatever you like. You can sit in a chair if you want at the moment. We're just going to go ahead and close our eyes. And see if you can focus in on your breathing. Continue to focus in on your breathing. And this is asking quite a lot on your back. So we'll be laying down momentarily just to let everything come together and synthesize. But just try to sit up if you can. If it's too much on your back, by all means, go ahead and lay down now. If you can, sit up straight. And see if you can bring your attention to your face. See if there's any tension you're feeling. And I'm going to be going through different parts of the body now. And see if you can bring your awareness to that part of the body, and see if you can just really feel it melt. Just feel all the tension melt away. And feel that area of the body just relaxing. See if you can bring your awareness to your forehead, your eyebrows, the middle of your eyebrows, your eyes, your cheeks, your nose, your upper lip, your lower lip, your jaw, your tongue, your teeth. See if they're clenching or if there's space between them. Your neck, your throat, your chest, your collarbones, your deltoids, your shoulders, your upper arm, your left upper arm, your left elbow, left forearm, left hand, left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left arm, left shoulder, left chest, sternum, right chest, right shoulder, right upper arm, right elbow, right forearm, right wrist, right hand, right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right arm, right shoulder, right chest, sternum, left nipple, right nipple, abdomen, navel, pubic region, your genitalia, your left seat, your left thigh, your right seat, your right thigh, your left knee, your left calf, your right knee, your right calf, your left ankle, the left top of your foot, the left bottom of your foot, left toes, right ankle, right top of your foot, right bottom of your foot, right toes, right ankle, left ankle, right shin, left shin, right knee, left knee, right thigh, left thigh, right inner groin, left inner groin, genitalia, pubic region, waistline, navel, sternum, upper shoulders, spine, your right back, your left back, your neck, your jaw. See if you can bring your attention into the space between your eyebrows. And from that space, see if you can just imagine a glowing, healing light just emanating from that space. That healing, glowing light just emanating from that space. And that light just shining out of your entire body, filling your entire body, and just glowing. Your entire body is glowing. all those places that we brought our awareness to and the places we didn't bring our awareness to. See if you can just blend everything together with that glowing, healing light. And just feel that energy radiating out to the entire world. Feel that healing energy just putting smiles on people's faces. Feel that healing energy just enveloping the world in a nice hug. Imagine people who are hungry suddenly having food in front of them. People who are thirsty, or all the animals who are thirsty, being able to drink, have a nice drink, and the smile on their face afterwards. For someone who's tired, imagine them having such a peaceful and nice rest. And just anyone who just needs a hug, just imagine giving them a nice hug. Really visualize that healing, glowing light emanating from your body to everyone you love around you, to everyone you don't even know around you, just benefiting anyone that comes around you, whether it be animals, plants, bugs. Just connect yourself with everything around you. So you can stay in this position for some time. But for now, we'll go ahead and lay on our back. Flop your legs out. Flop your hands out. And just rest. This is called Shavasana, or corpse pose. And still keep with that deep breathing. Still breathe deep. Now just feel all the energy just flowing through you. And see if you can feel everything that you've done just deepening inside your body. So officially we're gonna end it here, but you can stay on the mat as long as you want. There's no time pressure to get up and move. Feel free to stay here as long as you need to. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.